Explore the real locations of The Last of Us HBO series behind-the-scenes tour. Ever wondered where the jaw-dropping scenes of HBO's The Last of Us were filmed? Buckle up, because we're about to take you on a thrilling journey through the stunning locations that brought the post-apocalyptic world of the video games to life. From the rugged landscapes of Alberta to the bustling streets of Vancouver, get ready to dive into the heart of The Last of Us like never before. Spoiler alert, it's a wild ride. HBO's The Last of Us is a visual masterpiece, and a big part of its magic comes from the incredible locations that set the stage for the story. The series takes us on a roller coaster ride through a world ravaged by the cordyceps fungus, and the filming locations play a huge role in making that world feel real. So, grab your popcorn and let's explore the epic settings that brought The Last of Us to life. Although the show is set in the US, most of the filming for both seasons happened up north in Canada. The production team worked their magic to transform Canadian landscapes into some of the most iconic locations from the games. With 2 seasons under our belts, let's dive into the major filming spots and see how they brought the cutthroat, heartbreaking, and occasionally tender world of The Last of Us to life. The first season of The Last of Us was primarily filmed in the breathtaking province of Alberta, Canada. The production was a massive undertaking, with the first season alone costing around 100 million Canadian dollars for 10 episodes. That kind of budget sure shows on screen, and Alberta provided the perfect backdrop for some of the series' most memorable settings. The story kicks off in Austin, Texas, 20 years before the main events unfold. We meet Joel Miller, living a seemingly normal life with his daughter, Sarah. But tragedy strikes, and the rest is history. Fort Macleod, a charming town in southern Alberta, was the stand-in for Austin. The iconic driving sequence from the pilot episode was filmed right on Fort Macleod's main street. But Alberta didn't stop at Austin. The bustling cities of Edmonton and Calgary were transformed into the quarantine streets of Boston, Massachusetts. Downtown Calgary doubled as the present-day quarantine zone, while the Alberta Legislature building stood in for the Massachusetts State House. And get this, the Hotel Arts in Calgary became the Boston Museum. Calgary also stood in for Kansas City, Missouri, replacing the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, setting from the video game. Locations like the Globe Cinema and the Airport Trail Tunnel in northeast Calgary were repurposed to create the post-apocalyptic Kansas City. Now, let's fast forward to Season 2, where much of the action takes place in the ruins of Seattle, Washington. The production team headed to Vancouver, British Columbia, to bring the crumbling city to life. Downtown Eastside was the go-to spot for sequences involving soldiers and military vehicles. Stanley Park's Chinatown neighborhood and the Orpheum Theater also played significant roles in recreating Seattle. One of the most intense scenes, featuring a run-in with the infected in Seattle's subway tunnels, took a week to film. Cinematographer Catherine Goldschmidt revealed that the sequence wasn't shot on location or on a soundstage but in a long, thin building with tiled walls. And the train cars? They were real Vancouver's retired Mark I Skytrain cars, dressed up with Seattle Transit branding. Other notable locations include Gastown and the Vancouver Aquarium, which was repurposed as the Seattle Aquarium for the season finale. Nanaimo, British Columbia, also provided some stunning backdrops for Seattle, featuring Ellie and Dina's horseback riding adventures. Both seasons of The Last of Us have deep roots in Calgary. Towards the end of the first season, Joel and Ellie find refuge in Jackson, Wyoming, in a commune led by Joel's brother, Tommy. Season 2 picks up 5 years later, with Seattle becoming a dangerous war zone. For the first season, scenes set in Jackson were filmed in Canmore, Alberta. In Season 2, the production moved to Britannia Beach, north of Vancouver, to replicate the snowy setting. Although the second season primarily filmed in British Columbia, Alberta locations, especially Calgary, were reused. For snowier environments, the crew headed to Exshaw, Alberta, and even closed down Highway 1A for a few days to capture the perfect snow-capped setting. So, there you have it, the epic locations that brought The Last of Us to life. From the rugged landscapes of Alberta to the bustling streets of Vancouver, these spots played a crucial role in making the post-apocalyptic world feel real. If you're a fan of the series, these locations are a must-see. And if you haven't watched The Last of Us yet, what are you waiting for? Stream the first 2 seasons on HBO Max and get ready for an unforgettable journey. Happy viewing!